Today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the Hot Toys T2, Terminator 2, T-800 DX10 1/6 scale collectible figure. This phenomenal piece is one of the DX collection figures, so it's going to have a little bit more going on to it than the other Terminator figure. And actually, you know, Spot has actually just had a look at the MMS 10 117 T-800, so I wanted to shoot the video for the T2 deluxe version so you guys can see the difference, and Spot will do a comparison between the two so you guys can see the differences. This definitely will have a lot more going for it as well. It's got the minigun, it's got a whole slew of different things. Of course, before we do that, let's have a look at the packaging itself, which has almost like a faux leather finish to it. Even though it's not really a leather material, it's still a cardboard. The way that it's been textured makes it gives it the impression that it's almost a leather material, which I think that is really a phenomenal touch. Down below it says the T-800 Terminator 2 Judgment Day and the Judgment Day font, and then down below DX10 1/6 scale collectible figure. Now, being that this is a DX10, the packaging is going to be a little bit more involved. It's not just going to be simply a sleeve that we're going to lift off. There is a magnetized flap, and just bring the camera a little back here. The flap, I don't know if you guys can see it, but the flap actually has a studded look to it. Kind of, again, looking like the Terminator's leather jacket, which is a really nice touch. On the inside, speaking of nice touches, let's just spin the box around here. On the one side of the box it says, I know why you cry, but it's something I can never do. Then on the inside, and Spot's kind of already done the reveal, sadly, but on the inside it actually says Terminator 2. It says, the machines who rule the future sent an unstoppable Terminator to assassinate the yet unborn John Connor. They failed. The machines will try again. And as you've already seen, the T2 cards here, little blocks here, slide away. Let's bring the camera in a little bit here. These slide away, and inside is an image of the actual figure, the DX10 figure, which is, again, phenomenal. Down below it says Cyberdyne Systems, also a nice touch. We can take that and move that out of the way. And then you have your Terminator. There's the T-800 there. Features parallel eyeball rolling system PERS, translucent iris, authentic likeness of Arnold Schwarzenegger as the T-800, detailed paint applications, detachable scalp, and Cyberdyne chip in the head. And the body, T-800 body, advanced muscular body with over 30 points of articulation, newly sculpted chest and arms, authentic leather jacket and pants. And then as well, it lists the artists. Head sculpted by Yuli. Head painted by J.C. Hong, head art directed by J.C. Hong, body sculpted by Joseph Sang and T.J. Cha. When you take this all out, of course, you're going to have all the other accessories as well, all the other things too, but we'll save that because what I am going to do is take a break. I'm going to get this completely out of its box, and when we come back, we're going to get a good look at the very impressive DX10 1/6 scale collectible figure of the T-800. There's definitely more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Of course, before we have a look at this phenomenal piece, the DX10 Terminator 2 Judgment Day T-800 does come with his own display stand. Now, it would look as if he just comes with a basic display stand. Of course, there is some detailing on the top there, but it is actually a translucent, there's actually an overlay over top of this. It does also have this really neat new sculpt of the neck piece here for the back of the stand. But on the back, there's the Terminator 2, but on the back, there is an on and off switch. When you turn it on, this section right here lights up along with all the rest of this detailing as well. Lights off, you can get a better look at how this lights up. It doesn't really look like the rest of this section here lights up, just really more on the front area here. It says Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and T-800. DX10 also comes with a slew of accessories, but before we get to that, let's do the figure justice. Let's actually get a better look at the figure. When it comes to the face sculpt, I don't think it's too bad. There are elements to it that I don't really care for. I almost feel like his hair is a little too poofy. I don't know if that makes any sense. But certain angles, it looks a lot like Arnold. Like when you turn it to the side, when it's kind of on an angle, it looks a lot like the T-800. I think when you kind of look at it from face, like face to face straight on, it feels like it's missing something. Like it isn't quite right. The skin color is good, but I feel like his face is just slightly off. Being that this is also a DX10, a DX series, this whole back section, of course, can come off via magnet there, and he has the trackballing system to adjust the eyes. And depending on how you want to pose it, Spot had the eyes really to the side, but you can pose the eyes any which way that you want, up and down, and left and right. So you get a lot of different posing options for Arnold. But again, like even with the eyes facing forward, I feel like it's not quite a good likeness to Arnold. And I don't know if it's maybe the hair that's doing it for me, whether if he had a flatter cut up the top there, whether it would look a little more like him, but it seems just a little bit off. And of course, I would have to do a comparison with the already reviewed MMS 117 T-800 that we've already had a look at. Looking at the two, I find like the skin tone is probably better on the DX10, but I feel like the likeness of at least the T-800 is a little better on the MMS 10, but the MMS 7117. I feel as if though like his likeness is just a little bit better. Even from the side, it looks a little more like Arnold. It's got a little more of the chiseled look to it than the MMS or the DX10 had. And I think definitely with having the glasses included, it looks more like the T-800 than the DX10. Glasses, by the way, the glasses for the MMS 117 were a little bit thicker. They were a little more translucent than the ones we actually get with the DX10. The DX10 are a little thinner in quality, and also they're a little more translucent. They're a little more see-through than the glasses that came with the MMS 117. Even really with the glasses, you can see the difference between the MMS 7, the MMS 117, and the DX10. Again, like the DX10 is a little more basic, kind of in the way that the sculpt is. The MMS 7, the MMS 117, I keep wanting to give it the wrong number. The MMS 117, I think definitely looks a little more more like Arnold than the DX10 does. Also, even really from a height standpoint, the MMS 117, the T-800 is a little bit taller than the DX10 too. Very similar outfits as well, but I also found too that the MMS 117 has a better feel for the leather jacket versus the DX10. Jacket on the DX10 feels a little more like a fake or faux leather than the MMS 7, MMS 117 had. It feels a little more like a costume leather. It's the same, pretty much it's the same jacket, same pockets, same zippers, but the material definitely is an improvement with the MMS 117 than I think on the DX10. Going back to his head though, it's still a really good head. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from the DX10. The head is a good sculpt. I just feel like it could have been a better looking sculpt, and I think the other Terminator is a little more of an improvement versus this one. But it still has on the back here, the one thing it does have, which is really an ongoing trend with the DX10, is it has a lot more feature-wise than the MMS 7 had, the MMS 117. The one thing too with the DX10 is that you can go to the top of the hair here, and it's a little hard to find right away, but it does have the removable chip area, and again, it's a section that you may not notice right away. There it is right there. there's not really a lot keeping it on the hair either. It is prone to falling out, but it does have the section for the chip. A very, very small section indeed. The thing too really about the DX10 is that you also get a lot of accessories specific to the chip. You get yourself a pair of pliers that actually open and close. You get the actual chip itself. You get the covering, the screw covering, and also you get the plate covering that will go over that whole section. And also you get a section of hair or skin that's been peeled away to reveal the chip compartment. Showing you just a closer look at that area of the head. There is a section where the chip technically could have been plugged in, but it is a sculpted in piece. There's not actually a slot. Funny enough though, if there was a slot and you could fit it properly in, the easiest way to put the chip in would have actually been by using the supplied pliers to actually put that in. But it's a shame that that area doesn't actually let you plug it in. It would be certainly an extra level of detail that Hot Toys could have done. Despite that, the access door could still be installed, but the access door is so long that you couldn't be able to put the chip and that flap, that door in. The door pretty much covers in that entire whole opening. However, though, you can still take that. You can also still take the door, the top part of the head there. You can also fill that in as well. There is, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little slot right on the side where you can take the skin folded back piece and you can hinge it all in. And you'll see that, I mean, there's so much on this piece that's so intricate that getting these smaller pieces in place might be a little more of a tougher ordeal. The end result though is something that looks like this, and you can see where the skin has been peeled back. We've got the plate in there, and we've also got the latch cover all installed. So really a nice piece, a nice way to show the Terminator, not necessarily that you would ever display him with all that, but it just goes to show that Hot Toys would give you all the extra pieces. You could do it if you really wanted to. Piece also still will allow you to put it in, despite the fact that the latch cover and everything is. And the only downside though, I wish it was more magnetized, because even putting it in box, taking the T-800 out of its box, this hairpiece kept falling off. There's really no way that this stays affixed. It's just a loose piece. It can still cover. I just kind of wish there was an easier way to keep it from falling off. So really, despite the fact that I think the MMS 117 is a better looking Terminator figure, I can't necessarily say don't pick this figure up, because the reason why you would want to get this figure over this one had the interchangeable hand, if you remember that, the interchangeable endoskeleton arm. It had the interchangeable t-shirts, and it had the shotgun, and it had all the things really from the beginning of the movie. Where the DX10 excels, though, is it has all the accessories that you would want to have him adorned if you want to have him looking like he did from the end of the movie. The DX10's accessories include a duffel bag. With it actually has a zipper compartment, although inside it's just a foam piece just to bulk up the duffel bag. But a duffel bag comes included with the DX10. You also still get the shotgun. The fully working shotgun that came included with the MMS 117 is also included with the DX10. And despite really a slight change in the brown that they use, it's pretty much the exact same gun that came with the MMS 117 T-800, just again, a little bit different in the coloring that they use. And also the black in the DX10, the black metal is a little bit darker as well than the MMS 117 was. The T-800 also comes with a hand pistol, which looks a little more metallic than the MMS 117 came with. It also doesn't look like there's a magazine clip inside, whereas the other T-800 did have the removable magazine clip. Am I going to ever really display the Terminator here with a handgun? Probably not, especially this one right here for how much more he comes with. Included, you get the iconic grenade launcher, which actually does open and does look like it can hold ammunition. Really perfect because he does come with an ammo belt as well. If you were to ask yourself if these are removable, the answer is yes. Each one of the bullets can be removed, and you can technically put them inside the barrel of the grenade launcher, which is an excellent touch, depending on obviously how you want to have him displayed. Certainly not least, what defines the DX10 is the inclusion of the minigun. A really impressive piece. Doesn't really have a lot of moving components to it. I thought if anything the barrel might rotate a little bit more, but it really doesn't do all that much. But still really a phenomenal looking piece. Looks very aged, very weathered. Definitely doesn't look like something that's new, and fits perfectly for displaying the DX10 in the Cyberdyne confrontation with the police. Saying, hold the phone there, hold the phone. How come the minigun can't fire a minigun if he doesn't have ammunition? Luckily, he also does come with an ammunition belt as well. And you can take that and just slide it into the side of the minigun. To clip the ammunition on, there's 2 peg points right on the side of the minigun, and there's 2 holes on the side of the ammunition. And this just actually just clips in to the side here. It's rubbery too, so it has a little bit of give, and you have something that looks like that. With the rest of the accessories, you get yourself 3 extra hands, 3 extra gloved hands, I should say. One perfect really for firing trigger, like the shotgun or the pistol, and then 2 closed fists. And you also get 2 bare hands as well. And again, sculpted in an ideal sculpt for holding weapons, you know, with the trigger fingers holding pistols and the shotgun. You get 2 of those as well. On the T-800, you get something that looks like this. And it looks so cool. With the ammunition belt, the grenade launcher on the side, and minigun in tow, the T-800 is ready for his showdown with the police at Cyberdyne Systems. Complete with the ammunition coming from the duffel bag that we had looked at before. This is a perfect way, if you ask me, the only way that you'll want to display him. DX10's articulation, well, his head is on a ball joint, which moves quite easily back and forth, up and down. A little bit of caution, though, when you move the head, because, again, you could easily flick that little extra hair piece off, as, again, it is a loose piece. We'll have ball socket shoulders, so the arms will move out, forward and back. Not really too super hindered by the fact that he's got his leather jacket on. He's got a double bend in the elbow, rotation and bend in the hand, again being that those are just ball socket joints. As for his torso, he has an upper torso crunch and rotation in the waist section. And as for his legs, the legs will go forward, back, out. Again, slightly hindered by his leather pants. Swivel at the thigh, a double bend at the knee, and a swivel and bend in the foot. Really, at the end of the day, does it look a lot like Arnold? It's not as accurate, I think, as, say, for example, the MMS 117, but the real draw for this figure, for me at least, is the added accessories. It really defines itself for what you can display him with, that it makes perfect sense to want to have both pieces. The MMS 117 being a perfect display piece for having him near the beginning of the movie, the DX10 is all the more reason to want to get this figure, because then you can have him displayed as he is near the end of the movie or when they're in their Cyberdyne system showdown. Again, the perfect argument to be why you would want to pick up both figures. Clearly, I think the likeness and sculpt is much better on the MMS 117, but I think there's enough valid reasons that you would want to get both figures, simply because you can display them in 2 crucial moments in the Terminator 2 movie. For me, there is enough right for this figure that I would say it's worth picking up. If you're a Terminator fan and you want to get the Terminators depicting scenes from the movie, it's all the more reason to want to get this figure. Facially, yes, it suffers a little bit versus, say, the other one that we had to look at. It's not quite right. It's just, there's like a little something off to the likeness of Arnie. But for what you can do with this figure, the inclusion of the minigun, the inclusion of the grenade launcher, there's just so much you can do with him that, again, it warrants getting both. Today's collectible spot, we were having a look at the Hot Toys Terminator 2, the T-800 DX10 figure. Still, a phenomenal piece, and any Terminator fan, you would definitely want to pick this up. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more collectible spots heading your way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.